Yep. We'll take one more from Zoom.
Hey guys. Michael Lev here from the Arizona Daily Star. You can hear me? Yes. I have a question for both players, and then a quick follow-up for Mason when you're done. But for both players, what do you think is the distinguishing trait of this particular Arizona team?
Yeah, we grind out every pitch. It's been a long season. There's been a lot of long stretches of good and bad, but this team really adopts that pitch-by-pitch mentality that's been pretty much shoved in our face all year by the coaching staff, because they know that's how you win baseball games. And guys who didn't really buy into that, they bought into it now, and that's why we've gotten ourselves to this point.
Yeah, I think Mason said that perfectly. This team is really gritty. It doesn't matter what gets thrown at us. Even if we get knocked down, we're going to get back up. So we're always ready for anything that comes our way.
Did you have a follow-up?
Yeah, I do. Can you hear me? Yeah. For Mason, I noticed a lot of the players have grown facial hair of some sort since Houston, but you don't have any. Is that a choice, or is that just genetics?
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to be the guy that doesn't do it, but we started that somewhere in the Houston journey along the way. And, I mean, I had a good showing in Arlington not doing it, and everyone was like, yeah, you just do whatever you want. But I was like, sorry, guys, I'm not going to do that.
We have one more question from Zoom.
Can you hear me? Jenna Fink from News 4 Tucson. What was it like when you walked onto the field at Charles Schwab for the first time for practice? I mean, did you have a wow, we're here moment?
Yeah, I kind of did, but I was surprised. It actually felt a lot like high C. Just we were talking about the dimensions earlier. It's a big park, and we're just beyond excited and happy to be here. Feels like home.
Yeah, it's a big park, a lot of seats. It's really cool to see people in the outfield where you don't really feel that in college as much, but it was definitely a wow, like this is real.
Just a follow-up of one of the Zoom questions talking about, weird things that may have just started within the past couple of weeks of the team. In the Big 12 tournament, you guys are wearing banana crowns in the dugout. Can you just describe kind of what's been going on, what's the vibe of the team right now, and what's this background story around the bananas?
It's just something for the team to rally around. We did something very similar last year, so it's just something to keep everyone engaged and excited, and it's just something to rally around.
All right, that'll do it. Tony, Mason, thank you for joining us, and good luck this week.
Thank you.
Off you go.
Can we take these?
You'll get them.
You get them? Perfect. Yeah, we'll use them a few times, Tony.
Yes. All right, now we will open it up to questions for Coach. Start at the back.
Hey, Chip. Eric Olson with the Associated Press. Kind of ran this question past Coach Schnall just a little bit ago. Totally different field this year than last year, with 6 conferences and 1 independent represented here this year versus 4 ACC and 4 SEC last year. I guess, first of all, what's kind of your general take on the makeup of the field? And could you also comment on how there was so much talk about a takeover of the SEC and the ACC of college baseball a year ago, and this year it looks like the rumors have been greatly exaggerated.
Well, Eric, I think that's a great question. I didn't know that we were all new teams, the 8 teams, until yesterday. I was talking to somebody and we realized it. It's pretty cool. It just shows you, especially for the West Coast, for UCLA, Oregon State, and Arizona. We hear that all the time. Obviously, recruiting is very difficult now. The SEC has been really strong in our areas. And so, we kind of got together, as a staff at Arizona and said, hey, we can't complain about this. These kids are going. They're on ESPN every weekend. They got great fans down there. The only way we're going to change this is to get back to Omaha for us and for everybody on the West Coast if we want to change this, if it's going to change. So it is interesting, but still the great teams. We played a bunch of SEC teams. We played a bunch of ACC teams this year, and they're tremendously good. And when you get into a regional, when you get into a super regional where it's a 2 out of 3, anything can happen, and we proved that. To lose 18-2 and then come back and win 2 really close games. North Carolina was unreal, very, very good team, and all those schools, LSU, Arkansas being here, they're tremendous teams. So we're just going to play it out. We're just going to, like the kids say, we're going to grind it, and hopefully, the West Coast can show big this series.
Baseball America. On that, what did you guys do to combat the challenges that exist now on the recruiting landscape with the SEC pushing as far west as it has?
Well, I'll tell you what, Trip Couch is my recruiting coordinator, and he's been doing this a long time. He came from the SEC from South Carolina. And, when we go through the recruiting process, obviously everybody goes through it. And it's a frustrating deal. You bring these kids in, whether they're portal players, whether they're high school kids, and you'll lose them to wherever, Texas A&M, UCLA, Oregon State, whoever it is. And he said to me all the time, hey, we only need to get about 10 to 12 good players a year. That's all we need to worry about. And they're out there. We have so many great players in this country, whether they're in Alaska or Washington or Florida. There's plenty of players you can see from our roster. We're got kids from New York. We got kids from Chicago. We'll go anywhere to get them. So you just have to get good players that are going to play good, solid baseball. And we've done that this year.
Noah Bieniek of 11.7. Coach, you obviously have a strong offensive background, but throughout this run, you've given a lot of credit to the pitching staff.
Yeah.
And I also want to tag along on the recruiting questions here. You replace a lot of the pitching production from last season, but not only that, the last 2 years, it's not just a flash of pan success this season. The last 2 years, this pitching staff's been really strong. Can you also describe the impact that Coach Kevin and John have played in this team's role?
Kevin Vance and John DeRoy, and obviously John's our pitching strategist, and obviously Kevin's our pitching coach. They've done a phenomenal job. And that starts, there's kids that are on our staff right now that have very few innings that are going to be big parts of it next year. And that's what we did with Owen Krankowski. Owen pitched very little last year, but we knew from what the pitching plan was for those guys and what they were creating with his shapes, that he was going to be an impact guy for us. And we have guys this year with Mason Russell, coming along, that's going to be a big impact guy for us. Now, Smith Bailey comes in, and the maturity level was so high that the shapes took hold in the fall, and we could see that he was going to be an important guy for us. But yeah, that's been a big deal. And in this ballpark, pitching is going to play big in this thing.
This time we're going to take some questions from Zoom. Please remember to state your name and media affiliation.
Yes, Chip, Michael Lev with the Arizona Daily Star. When you look at the stats, some of the main stats for the participants in the College World Series, you guys aren't that high in a lot of categories. Yet, here you are back in the World Series. What do you think has enabled Arizona to maybe be a team where the whole is greater than the sum of the parts?
Yeah, Michael, that's a great question. I mean, I don't. Sometimes I look at when I'm coaching third now, I look up at the scoreboard and I'm shocked at how low some of our averages are, because it's funny. Tommy Splain's been here for 4 years, and he just does. All he does is get big hits in big situations. So I think that's part of it. I think our guys have risen to the occasions when we need to. We've been much better in the bunt game, the small game a little bit that we haven't been in the past, as you've seen a bunch of us, Michael. So you know that those bunts have been huge for us. But yeah, just clutch hitting, grittiness, and again, the pitching, keeping it close. I mean, obviously you saw what happened Friday in Chapel Hill. It didn't matter how gritty we were when they were hitting the ball over the ballpark. So we need good pitching every night to stay in the game and stay close.
Take another question from Zoom.
Yeah, Shane Dale with the Wildcat Country podcast. Chip, congrats on making it back to Omaha. To be able to do something as special as winning the College World Series as a player and then leading that same program back there as a coach. I know it's been a crazy few weeks, but if you had a moment to just take a step back and reflect on what this program and what the University of Arizona have meant to you in your career.
Yeah. Yeah, Shane, that's a great. It's interesting. We did a bunch of media today, and they gave me a tablet, and it had all these videos of me playing in '86 here, and it brought back a lot of memories. And the Wildcats and the University of Arizona had a rich history here. Coach Kendall obviously winning the 3, Andy Lopez winning in 2012, and Jay bringing them back in 16 and 21. So yeah, it's a huge deal to be here. The city, I don't know if you know this, but the city of Tucson is the U of A. It's a college town, and we get a lot of support at High Corbett with our people, and even when school's out, we get 5,000-6,000 people a game. So it's huge, and just to look back on it, I'll wait till this is all over because we got a lot more work to do.
I have another question from Zoom.
Hey, Chip. Aaron Patterson, KGUN 9. You talk about, winning in '86 and just having that legacy with the U of A. I spoke with Clark Christ a couple days ago. I don't know if there was a total overlap with you guys at the U of A, but I was just curious if you had any comments on him.
Yeah.
And he was a part of the 1980 team as well.
No, yeah, he was done in '80. And yeah, we try to keep in touch with Clark. Obviously, he's had the medical issues, and he's battling his way back. And he's one of the great Wildcats, man. From the day I walked on campus there, he was always around, and Coach Kendall would always tell us what a great shortstop he was. And obviously, Coach Kendall was a fantastic infield coach. So yeah, Clark's been in the game a long time, and has been a really big resource for me.
We have one more question from Zoom.
Hey, Chip, Jenna Fink, News 4 Tucson again. What is your just impression of Coastal Carolina, and also, what's kind of the message to the team? Obviously, it's kind of been built up that this was the team that beat Arizona in the 2016 College World Series Finals. So, what's kind of your impressions of them, and then the message that you're telling the team?
Yeah, they're really good. They're I've watched a lot of video of their pitching and their the kind of the way they play, their style of play, and they do a lot of things really well, and they're gritty just like us. They've obviously a mid-major, and they've won a bunch of games in a row. So we're just the bottom line with the team, what we tell them is just keep playing good baseball. It doesn't matter if you're playing the New York Yankees, the Los Angeles Dodgers, or South Point High School. If you don't play good baseball and catch the ball and throw it to first and get your bunts down and run the bases correctly, then you're going to lose to those teams. So, and you can beat them if you do those things well.
Believe we have a question in the back.
Hey, Chip, Eric with the AP. Since you played at Rosenblatt Stadium, you came in here and mentioned that there's been a lot of changes. Do you have a good story about your memory of Rosenblatt?
Well, obviously, when I came here in '85, we lost 2 games and went home. And the first game we played was against Texas, and Greg Swindell pitched, and he didn't throw anything but a fastball after the 3rd inning, and beat us. I think it was 1-0. I don't think we scored a run, but we ended up beating them in the next regional. We went to Austin and beat them to get to Omaha. So that was a pretty cool thing. But it was funny. I managed AAA for 3 years, and we came back here. And we played at Rosenblatt, obviously, and it was completely different. It was a great old stadium, and what Omaha has done for this it's amazing just to see the differences. It was, I always compare it in the 80s. It was more of like a mom and pop, store, and now it's just become this huge, unbelievable industry. It's great, and then I'm just proud to bring the Cats back.
Any more questions for Coach? Oh, Coach, thanks for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Good luck this week.
All right.
Hammond Communications will post a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at NCAA.